Rango Antaratma Jivasa. Sit down. Sit down. Independent Bhav. Visar Swabhav. Now the situated. Soul is the dancer. The soul is the stage. Sattva is achieved by mastering the intellect. And from this, the freedom of being, naturally known and naturally actionable, results. Due to this independent nature, it can go outside itself, and it can also remain within itself while being situated outside. Before entering the Sutra, understand Friedrich Nietzsche said somewhere that I can only believe in that God who can dance. Believing in a sad God is only a symptom of a sick person. There is truth in the statement. You mold your God in your own image. If you are sad, your God will be sad. If you are happy, your God will be happy. If you can dance, your God will also be able to dance. You see existence as you are. The expansion of your vision is and until you can trust in a dancing God, that you have not recovered. The idea of a sad, crying, sick God is indicative of your sick state. The first sutra of today is Soul Dancer. Understand a few more things about dance. Dance is the only act in which the subject and the action become one. If someone paints a picture, the creator and the action become separate. If someone creates a poem, the poet and the poem become separate. If someone creates a sculpture, the sculptor and the sculpture become separate. Dance is the only act where the dancer and the dancer are one. The two cannot be separated. If the dancer is gone, the dance will be gone. And if the dance is lost, then the person whose undance is lost has no meaning calling him a dancer. They are united. Therefore, it is meaningful to call God a dancer. This creation is not separate from Him. It is His dance. It is not His creation. This is not a fabricated statue that God created and then separated. God is present within it every moment. If He separates, the dance will cease. And remember, if the dance stops, God will also be lost. Cannot escape. He is manifest in every flower, every leaf, every particle. Creation never ended in the past. It is happening every moment. The act of creation continues every moment. That's why everything is new. God is dancing, both inside and outside. The soul is the dancer. This means that whatever you have done, whatever you are doing, and whatever you will do, is not separate from you. It is your own play. If you are suffering, it is your own choice. If you are joyful, that too is your choice. No one else is responsible. I was a college professor. I had just arrived there. The college was far from the village, and all the professors brought their own lunch and gathered at one table in the afternoon. Coincidentally, the person I was sitting next to opened his lunchbox, took a look and said, "Again, the same potato curry and roti." I thought maybe he didn't like potato curry and roti, but since it was new, I didn't say anything. The same thing happened again the next day. He opened the box and said, "Again, the same potato curry and roti." So I told him, if you don't like potato curry and roti, ask your wife to make something else. He replied, "Wife is not your wife, I cook it myself." This is your life. No one else is responsible. If you laugh, you laugh. If you cry, you cry. No one is responsible. It could be that crying has become a habit for you and you've forgotten how to laugh. It could also be that you've cried so much that you can't do anything else. It's become a habit. It could also be that you've forgotten. You've been crying for so many lifetimes that you don't even remember ever choosing to cry. But your forgetting doesn't make it true. It's false. You chose. You are the master. And so, the moment you decide, the crying will stop. Filling yourself with this realization is the realization that you are the creator. You are responsible for whatever you do. Revolution takes place in life. Revolution is impossible as long as you hold others responsible, because until then you'll remain dependent. You think others are making you unhappy. Then how can you be happy? Impossible. Because changing others is in your hands. You only have to change yourself. If you think fate is causing you unhappiness, then it's beyond your control. How can you change fate? The fate is above you. And if you think that God has written in your destiny whatever is happening, then you will become a dependent instrument. You will lose yourself. The very meaning of self is that you are free, and no matter how much pain you suffer, it is the result of your own decisions. And the day you change your decisions, your life will change. Then everything depends on how you view life. I was a guest at Mullah Nasruddin's house. One morning, while walking in the garden, I suddenly noticed that his wife threw a cup at Nasruddin's head. It didn't hit him, but shattered against the wall. Nasruddin also saw that I had seen it, so he came out and said, "Sorry. Don't you think otherwise? We're very happy like this. Sometimes my wife throws things, but that doesn't affect our happiness." I was a little surprised and asked, "Explain it." He said, "If she hits the target, she's happy, and if she misses, I'm happy. Actually, there's no difference in our happiness. Sometimes she hits the target, sometimes she misses. We're both happy. It depends on how you look at life. You create it. Then you see it. Then you interpret it. You're completely alone. No one else ever enters your world. Can't even enter. If someone does enter, it's because you gave permission. This poses a problem. That's why you've forgotten it. The difficulty is realizing that you're responsible. Then you won't be able to be unhappy. And if you want to be sad, you can't complain. And there's great pleasure in both. There's great pleasure in being sad. Because when you're sad, you become a martyr. Martyrdom is great fun. When you're sad, you seek sympathy. Sympathy is great fun. That's why people keep exaggerating their stories of sorrow to each other. What could be the reason people keep telling so many stories of sorrow? No one wants to listen. What joy is there in your sorrow? And hearing sad stories will only make others sad. Flowers won't bloom in someone else's life. But you keep telling, and the other person listens only as long as they hope you'll listen, otherwise they'll slip away. You call the same people boring who don't give you a chance to speak. So there's a compromise. You bore us, we bore you. You annoy us with your stories of sorrow, we annoy you with our stories of sorrow, and we'll be equal. Why do people talk so much about sorrow? What's the reason? They expect sympathy. If you talk about your sorrow, someone will console you. Someone will say, "You're so sad." You're seeking love through your sorrow. That's why you have a huge investment in sorrow. You've invested a lot of your wealth in it. Whenever you're sad, you find a little hope everywhere. People seem to support you. They show sympathy. You haven't found love in life. Now, sympathy is rubbish, but it's the closest substitute for love. Those who haven't found real gold, then make do with fake gold. Sympathy is fake love. The desire was for love, but love has to be earned. Because love is only given to those who can give. Love is the reward of giving. You're incapable of giving. You're just begging. You're a beggar. You're not an emperor. And the more miserable you are, the easier it becomes. Look at the beggar on the street. He's projecting false emotions onto his body. Those emotions aren't real. They're just a superficial sham. But when he's completely filled with sorrow, it becomes difficult for you to say no. Your ego is hurt, wondering how to say no to such a sad man. If he were healthy and strong, you too would say, "You're a tough guy. Do something." Earn something you can earn. But when you see a sad man, you can't speak. You have to show sympathy, even if it's false. That's why you hold on to sorrow, because you haven't received love. Someone who has received love in life will be happy. They will cling to joy, not sorrow. Sorrow is not something to cling to. Then you find it easier to complain, because whenever you say others are making you unhappy, the burden of responsibility is lifted. And when I tell you, and all the scriptures tell you, all the enlightened people have said the same thing, you are responsible, no one else, then it feels like a huge burden. The biggest burden is that you can no longer throw your complaints at anyone. And an even bigger burden is the thought of who will you seek sympathy from now, if you are responsible. The deeper difficulty arises if you are responsible, then change is possible. And change means a revolution. a transformation. All your old habits must be broken. You have an old structure. It's all wrong. The house you've built so far is a complete hell. But you built it. No matter how big it is, it will have to be completely demolished. All your past labor seems to be in vain. So you try to avoid this truth, but the more you avoid it, the more you stray. First, understand that you are the center of your existence. No one else is responsible. And no matter how burdensome it may seem, you are responsible. If you accept this truth, all suffering will soon disappear. Once it becomes clear that I am the one creating my own game, how long will it take to undo it? Then there's no one else. And if you want to revel in suffering, that's your choice. But then, there's no reason to complain. If you want to wander in the world, that's your choice. If you want to go to hell, that's your choice. But then, there's no reason to complain. Then you live happily in suffering. These sutras are very valuable in this sense. The first sutra is that the soul is the dancer. Your actions and your existence are not separate. Your actions flow from your own existence, just as dance flows from the dancer. And if the dancer starts shouting, "I'm sick of this dance, I don't want to do it," what will you say? You will say, "Stop. Stop." Who is telling you to dance? You are the one dancing. Stop. If all this is meaningless, if it doesn't bring you joy and love, if it brings you pain, then stop. The dance will be lost. The soul is the dancer. This means that whatever you have done it. It has flowed from you. Just as leaves grow from trees, your actions flow from your weapon. Stop, and the actions will be lost. And the second thing is important to understand. The soul is the dancer. If you stop the dance of your sorrow, this life filled with sadness and anguish, the dance won't stop. The form of the dance will change. Because dance can't stop. It's a part of your life. It's your nature. You'll keep dancing, but then there will be no tears. There will be smiles. Then there will be a song in your dance. There will be a balance, a joy. There will be ecstasy, a merriment. Your dance will become heavenly. Ibrahim. Was once an emperor. He traveled to India and asked a monk why he saw. A monk said, often monks are sad because joy of their life was in their family life. They don't know any other joy, and they abandon their family life. All joys are lost. Even if sadness is not enough, they are sad. There's a slight difference between sadness and sadness. Sadness means that there's an intensity in sadness. There's a force in sadness. There's a flood in sadness. There are two types of floods. There's a flood of sorrow and a flood of happiness. One is when you're so filled with sadness that tears flow. Another is when you're so filled with joy that tears flow. Both floods. When a person flees the world because they believe it's full of sorrow. So the happiness that exists here is also left behind. Then they become sad. There's no flood neither of happiness nor of sorrow. Go and see your saints and sages. They're dead as if they've died while still alive. Their dance has stopped. They've left sorrow behind, and happiness has also been left behind because happiness was visible only there. Their hope was that if they left sorrow behind, only happiness would remain. This is a mistake. In the world where there's sorrow, there's also happiness. You want to preserve happiness, you want to abandon sorrow. By abandoning sorrow, you become a devotee, and happiness is also left behind. That saint was sad. He must have been an ordinary saint, because a true saint renounces both happiness and happiness. He doesn't want to preserve happiness. He renounces both happiness and sorrow. As soon as happiness and sorrow leave both, sadness disappears, because sadness is the midpoint between them. When you leave both, the midpoint also disappears. And then the journey to dimension begins. That joy, peace, nirvana, whatever name we want to give it. There is no flood in joy. Joy, a cool ray, a cold light. There is no flood. Joy is like sadness, in a sense. Sadness lies between joy and sorrow. Joy, beyond joy and sorrow, sadness is a state of darkness where everything has become slack, of death, where everything has fallen into laziness. Joy is a true state of awakening. But there is neither happiness nor sorrow. In this respect, joy is like sadness. There is neither happiness nor sorrow. There is light there, but light is not like happiness, because even the light of happiness has intensity and makes one sweat. This is why people get tired of happiness. You cannot remain happy for long, because happiness will tire. It has urgency, intensity, and fever. If you start winning though, every day you will die. You won't survive. If you meet him once or twice, it's fine. If you meet him every day, the stress will become so intense that you won't be able to sleep. Your heart will pound so hard that you can't rest. The excitement will be so intense that it will kill you. Therefore, happiness can, in homeopathic doses, only a little is available in a small packet. A lot of sorrow, a little happiness, only that much can be tolerated, because that too is stress, and that too is heat. Sorrow is tension. Happiness, tension. Both contain excitement. Joy is a state of non-excitement. There is light but no heat. There is dance, but no excitement. There is a calm, silent dance where there is no sound. There is a dance in the void, which brings no fatigue. It is not of the body. Both joy and sorrow belong to the body. It is the joy of the soul. It is a different dance altogether. That sage was an ordinary sage, like the ones you find everywhere. When Ibrahim saw him sad, he was surprised, because Ibrahim believed that a sage should be happy. So he asked, what the characteristics of a saint? Ibrahim asked the sage, what are the characteristics of a saint? The sage replied, if you get bread, accept it, and if you don't, Ibrahim replied, that's the characteristic of a dog. What's the characteristic of a saint? Even a dog does the same. If you get it, it's fine. If you don't, it's content. The sage was surprised, so he asked, what do you define a saint? Ibrahim replied, if you get it, share it and eat it. If you don't get it, you dance and thank God for giving you an opportunity to practice penance. The definition of a saint. If you get it, only a saint can share whatever he gets. If he seizes it and stops it, he's distressed. If he saves it, he's distressed. If he shares it, he's a saint. Whether it's joy knowledge, anything, or meditation, whatever you get, share it, because it's a joyful thing. If you share the things in this world, they diminish. Therefore, if you share the treasure chest, like people, the treasure chest won't last long. Because everything in this world is limited and shared. That's why we have to cling to the limited in the world. But there's no need to have it into the soul. There, all wealth is limitless. The more you share, the more it grows. The higher you rise, the more new things emerge. The ocean is infinite. Ibrahim is right. If you get, share it. Don't eat alone. Share it. If you don't get it, dance and give thanks. Contentment isn't enough, because contentment itself is indifference. People often say that contentment is always happy. A contented person isn't happy. A contented person only considers happiness. Deep down they feel sad. But they can't do anything. Of course they do. That's why they cultivate contentment. No, not contentment. Contentment is a part of sadness. They endured it. Didn't make a fuss, didn't complain. This is a sign of a dead mind. Ibrahim said, if you don't get it, dance and give thanks for giving them an opportunity for penance. Today I will fast. If you get it, thank them because they shared it. If you don't get it, thank. A saint's joy cannot be destroyed. And even if your sorrow were destroyed, at most sadness would result. Even if you somehow let go of sorrow, you simply become depressed. Sorrow also keeps you engaged, busy with work. You haven't considered that if all your sorrows were taken away, you would commit suicide. Then there would be nothing left to do. The father is busy working because he has to educate his sons. He has to marry them all. Let them all get married. What will the father do if everyone's work is done right now? Life would seem meaningless. You are preoccupied with useless things. This makes you feel that you are doing something important, necessary. The world would not function without you. What will happen to your son? What will happen to your wife? This supports your ego that you are essential. Everything is running because of you. Although everything will continue without you. It was going on even when you were not there. It will continue even when you're not there. But in between, you dream for a while about your importance. So even if you let go of sorrow, at most, you can find contentment. Contentment hides sorrow within it. Contentment is superficial, but the wound of sorrow within. That ointment, that bandage, that treatment is not true. A saint is not content. A saint is joyful. No matter the circumstances, if he gets something, he will share it and be happy. If he doesn't get it, he will dance and be happy even in the absence of it. The soul's nature is dance, and it can dance in two ways. It can dance in such a way that a web of sorrow is created all around, sadness fills all around, darkness is created all around, or it can also dance in such a way that rays of light dance all around and flowers bloom everywhere. Renunciation is the dance of joy and the dance of afflicted sorrow. Hell is not somewhere else. Don't sit there hoping that hell is somewhere else. Hell is your wrong way of dancing, which creates. Heaven is also not somewhere else. Heaven is your right way of dancing. which creates heaven wherever you are. Heaven is the quality of your dance. Hell is also the quality of your dance. You don't know how to dance, but you always think that the courtyard is crooked. That's why the dance isn't going well. The courtyard isn't crooked at all, and for someone who knows how to dance, even a crooked courtyard is fine. It makes no difference. For someone who doesn't dance, even a courtyard built from perfect squares with 90-degree angles won't teach them how to dance. I heard a man went for an eye operation. Before the operation, he asked the doctor, I can't see at all. I hope I can start seeing again. Why did the doctor order an examination before the treatment? Absolutely. The man asked, will I even be able to read? The doctor said, absolutely. Then the man's eyes were restored. He even began to see. One day, annoyed, he went to the doctor's house and said, you lied. I still can't read. The doctor replied, you can see everything. Why can't you read? He replied, I can't read at all. Even if your eyes are fine and you can't read, you won't be able to read. No matter how straight the courtyard becomes, if you can't dance, dancing doesn't depend on the straightness of the courtyard. You have to learn it. And remember, no one else can teach you. You are completely alone. Enlightened men can give hints, but you have to learn it yourself. No one can teach you by holding your hand. The dance of life is so deep within, so profound that no outside hands can reach there. No one can enter there except you. You are completely alone there. Everyone else is outside. The soul is the dancer. The soul can dance in two ways, happiness and sorrow. If you are unhappy, you'll learn the wrong way of dancing. Change that way. Don't blame anyone. Don't complain. As long as you complain, you will continue dancing the wrong way. Because you will never realize that the fault is mine. The fault is always someone else's. Stop complaining. Look at yourself. And wherever you experience unhappiness, search carefully. Search carefully. You will find its causes within you. Let go of those causes. For what is the purpose of cultivating those causes of unhappiness? Why do you continue to sow seeds that bear only poisonous fruits? Why do you reap the harvest every year? It would be better if you did not sow at all. Even if the fields remain fallow, it would not be bad. It would be good to just sit idle for a few days, so that all the old seeds die, so that you can sow new seeds. Why are you afraid of sitting idle? Meditation is the empty state of a seed. Meditation is like a farmer leaving his field fallow for a year or two, saying nothing. Such meditation is an in-between state. There's a void between hell and heaven. Leave it for a few days and don't sow anything. Remember one thing, it's better to do nothing than to do wrong. Stop for a while. Do nothing. It's better to do nothing until you know how to do it right, because every wrong action creates a chain of wrong actions. That's what we call the web of karma. You're always doing something or the other. You can't just sit idle. You have to do something or the other. You sit idle, meditating, so that old habits can be broken. And in that idle sitting, you'll begin to see clearly. Because you're so busy that you don't have the leisure or the convenience to see. You don't have the time. Meditation simply means that you sit quietly for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, as long as you can. Do nothing. Just keep watching, so that gradually your vision deepens and deepens and you begin to see that everything that happened in your life had a cause. As soon as this realization comes, you will stop sowing useless things. Then a meaningful life is born. Religion is supreme bliss, the indifference of renunciation, the enjoyment of existence. It is to participate in the great enjoyment. It is to become one with the dance of existence. Do not think of religion in the language of renunciation and sadness. So that religion which thinks in the language of renunciation and sadness is wrong. True religion is always dance. It is of joy. True religion is always a flute playing. The soul is the dancer. The soul is the stage. And this dance is not happening anywhere outside. It is happening within you. This world is not the stage. Your soul is the stage. No matter how much you think you have gone outside, no one can go outside. How can you go outside? You will remain within yourself. The whole play is going on right there. The whole game is going on there. Then its results are visible outside. Just like when you go to a movie theater, you see the whole play on the screen. But the real play is happening behind you in a projector. It's only visible on the screen. The screen is not the real stage. But your eyes remain fixed on the screen. You forget that the real thing is happening behind you. The entire web of the film on the screen behind you is merely its reflection. The stage of your inner self. The projector is inside. Everything starts from within amidst the play. Outside you hear only news echoes. And if there is sadness outside, then know that you are carrying the wrong film inside. And whatever you do outside becomes wrong. That means that whatever you project from within is wrong. Changing the screen will do nothing. No matter how much you play on the screen, it won't make any difference. If your film is coming from within, the screen will keep repeating the same story. And not only are you a film, but you're also like a broken record, replaying the same thread. Repetition abounds. If you ever examine your own innermost being, you'll find the same things playing over and over again. Remain broken. You keep repeating the same thing. Nothing new happens there. And whatever you repeat, its echoes are heard all around. It's reflected on the screens of the world all around. One day, Mullah Nasruddin went to see a movie. His wife was with him, and his child was with him. Mullah Nasruddin's child. Nothing can be perfect. Because when everything inside is messed up, everything outside comes out messed up too. So he's crying, screaming, making a fuss. The manager had to come at least 7 times to tell him to take his money back and go. But why would he remain silent? He had to come again and again. Mullah Nasruddin listened and sat quietly, watching. As the film neared its end, he was still there. So he asked his wife, "Do you think the movie is good or bad?" She replied, "Absolutely worthless." He said, "Don't delay. Give the boy the ant so he can get his money back and go home." You've been watching for so long. You've been watching for so many lifetimes. Everything is wrong. When will you get the ant? There's no one else here. When will you wake up and turn back? What's the need to look at this wrong that's filling you with suffering, that's burdening you with pain and sorrow, dreams that produce nothing but anguish and sorrow? You can leave this building. You're stuck in this building because of yourself. Why are you delaying? You're not satisfied yet. If you're not satisfied, then why do you indulge in the nonsense of Buddha, Mahavira, Krishna, Shiva, Jesus? If you're not satisfied, then don't listen to them. Stay away from them. Avoid them, because it is meaningful only for those who have had enough of the film, who have watched enough of it, who are bored with it, who are now restless with hell, and who have awakened a desire for a heavenly dance, whose yearning is for God. But your state of mind is such that you want to ride two boats. This only increases your suffering. You want to enjoy this world. No matter how much suffering there is here, there remains a slight hope that happiness will come. Just keeps it alive, just as it is about to happen. And your experience tells you that it won't happen, because you have hoped this many times. It has always failed. Experience favors the Buddhas, hope against the Buddhas, and you are full of both. Both. Even if you have two boats, you keep one foot on the boat of hope, hoping that if you don't find happiness with this woman, for a little while longer, you might find it with another woman. If you don't find happiness with this son, you might find it with another son. If you don't find success in this business, you might find it in another. You are always changing the things around you. If you don't find happiness in this house, you might find it in another house. This is small. If the safe becomes a little larger, you will find it. You keep changing something around you. You keep making changes to the screen. But the story within you projects the same story onto the screen everywhere you find suffering. Experiences of suffering. Two boats of hope and happiness, if you listened. Buddha, Mahavira, and Krishna, they are speaking from experience. They are saying, get off the boat of hope and board the boat of experience. You listen to them because you can't deny them either. And even after seeing them, you feel confident that what we haven't received, they seem to have received because the race is ended. But the confidence isn't complete, because you don't know if they're deceiving you. You're just saying it. Who knows, if they haven't received it, we might get it. They say sour grapes, but they might not reach the grapes, and if we do, hope doesn't go away. Experience is also completely wrong. It's difficult to say so. In this way, you are in a dilemma. This conflict is your insanity. And these two boats are on different journeys. So board one, there's no hurry. Get fully on the boat of the world. Soon you'll rise. But your foot on the boat of the Buddhas doesn't allow you to fully experience the world. Even there, you go halfway. Because this thought of Buddhas is holding on to half your leg. So you manage the temple and the shop, but neither the shop nor the temple can be managed. You can't manage both together. Go completely into the shop. Forget that there ever was a Buddha, a Mahavira, a Krishna, a Shiva. Forget about any scriptures. Only eating is everything. Once you get fully involved, you'll soon be free. Your own experience will tell you that everything is futile. Even that doesn't happen. And you can't fully board the boat of the Buddhas because your mind keeps telling you not to rush. There's still plenty of time. And what's your age? These are matters of old age. When you are about to die and one foot is in the grave, then put the other foot on Buddha's boat. What's the hurry? People think religion is for old age. When they are about to die, they need the water of the Ganges. When they are about to die, someone should repeat the Namakar mantra in their ears. At the time of when everything has been wasted, and when there is no energy left, no strength left to travel, then you're ready to travel. No, you will fall back into the world, and you will board the same boat. You have done this countless times. The soul is the stage, they say. Remember, whatever you see outside is what you have projected from within. You see in life only what you put in. And many opportunities arise in your life too. I have heard that 3 travelers met in a guest house. One was an old man of 60 years. Another was a middle-aged man of 45 years, and another was a young man of 30 years. All 3 fell into conversation. The young man said, "Last night, I spent with a woman who is more beautiful than you. And the happiness I experienced is indescribable." The 45-year-old man said, "Stop this nonsense. I've seen many women, all of them, indescribable. The pleasures that seem to exist are nothing short of indescribable, not even happiness. I experience happiness when I was invited to a royal banquet last night. I've never experienced such delicious food in my life." The old man said, "That's nonsense too. Ask me the real thing. This morning I had such diarrhea, my stomach felt so clean. I've never experienced such joy. No, it's indescribable. All the pleasures of the world are like this. They change with age, but you forget." 30, sex seems to bring great pleasure, but at 45, food becomes more enjoyable. That's why people often start gaining weight around 40. Around 60, there's no longer any interest in food. Just cleanse your stomach properly. That's the kind of bliss you get in meditation, and nothing else. All 3 are right because worldly pleasures are just like this. And we've wasted so many lives pursuing. And even if we get them, we still get nothing. What do we gain? The conscience is the stage. You see outside only what you project inside. Lust emanates from a young man's eyes. His entire body is filled with elements of lust. Wherever he looks, he sees women. Lust grips him everywhere. Mullah Nasruddin was young. He went to a painting exhibition with his wife. He was married and wanted to travel. The exhibition featured some very valuable paintings. Nasruddin stopped near one painting and lingered for a long time, forgetting that his wife was with him. The painting was of a naked woman. She was so beautiful, her nudity obscured by just a few leaves. The painting was titled Spring. He stood there, stunned. Finally, his wife released his hand and asked, "Are you waiting for autumn?" But such is the mind of man, he said. Wives often recognize correctly. Whatever is raging within you becomes the world around you. Choleric. We have a very precious word. It's hard to find a similar word in any other language. Raga. Rag also means attachment. Rag also means color. All your attachments are the result of the color cast by your eyes. You color things. Whatever you color, rag catches hold of you. Rag means you've colored it. A woman isn't beautiful. You have the color of lust within you. That's why a woman appears beautiful. A small child isn't worried. The color of lust hasn't yet matured. The old man's color has faded. He laughs at your foolishness, although he has committed the same foolishness. You too will laugh, but while committing foolishness, the one who recognizes and understands it awakens. When the color of foolishness is gone, there's no point in laughing. Anyone laughs then. But even when foolishness is still in full swing, you must awaken and recognize that the entire interplay is being projected outside. There's nothing outside. It's just a blank screen. The soul is the stage and the projector, and it's from there that we're creating everything. Controlling the intellect leads to the attainment of truth. And this ongoing play will continue, and you'll remain lost in it until the intellect is in control. Controlling the intellect leads to the attainment of truth. As soon as you remember that the entire play is being played from within, you'll let go of the worry of controlling the world. It's never been in anyone's control. There's nothing there. There's only a screen. Subdue your intellect and the whole world is in your control. As soon as you remember that I am the creator of the play I'm watching, I am the actor, I am the storyteller, I am everything. I am the stage. Similarly, you remain silent in the changes outside. Then you set out to find your inner mastery. That is mastery of your intellect. You are not the master of your intellect. Your thoughts are not your slave. You are the slave of your thoughts. You go where they take you. They don't go where you want them to go. Try to change even a small thought. It refuses. Tell a small thought to calm down. It rebels. You never pay attention to this because it is so painful to realize that you are not even the master of yourself, yet you are trying to be the master of the world. And how can someone who is not the master of himself be the master of anyone else? Carefully understand your mind. Observe it. Then, first of all, you will understand that the mind has become the master. Not the soul, not you. The mind says, do this, so you have to do it. If you don't, the mind creates trouble. You don't do it, your mind becomes sad. Its sadness becomes your sadness. If you do it, you won't reach anywhere because the mind is blind. Where will you reach? By following its orders. The mind is unconsciousness. It is unconsciousness. You won't get anywhere by listening to it. You've heard that if the blind follow the blind, they fall into ditches. But everyone is doing the same. Your mind is completely blind. It knows nothing. And you follow it like a shadow follows your body. You follow the mind. You have forgotten that you are the master. This often happens when you associate with slaves for a long time. Gradually, slaves become masters. Because the more you depend on them, the more their ownership becomes established. All spiritual practice is about one thing: break the mastery of the mind. What will you do to break the mastery of the mind? First, if you want to break the mastery of the mind, break it into one with the mind. A thought arises in your mind. Don't get attached to that thought. Don't become one with it. It only gains strength from your being one with it. Stand away. Watch as if people are walking on the road. You're standing on the sidelines watching. Watch as if clouds are wandering in the sky and you're standing on the ground watching. Don't connect yourself to the thought. Don't say, this is my thought. The moment you say mine, you become attached. Connected, your power goes into the thought. And that very power enslaves you. That power is also yours. Don't get attached. As you move away, break away, and separate, the thought becomes lifeless. Becomes fearless. It loses its energy. Your problem is that you want to extinguish the flame of the lamp, but you yourself pour oil. You blow here, you pour oil there. Stop pouring oil. First thing, old oil won't last long. First, stop pouring oil. What is oil? Whenever a thought of anger grips you, you instantly become one with it. You say, I'm angry. Now the truth is that you've become so one with anger that it's taking over your entire power. You become a shadow, it's become the master. When anger arises, stand back and watch. Let it rise. Let it spread through your body. Smoke. It will surround you from all sides. Let it surround you. Remember one thing. I am not anger. And don't rush to translate it into action, because once it's done, it's difficult to return. Observe anger and be certain if you have to respond to the one who caused the anger, abused it, or insulted it, you will respond only when the anger has passed. Don't respond before that. It will be difficult at first because you need to cultivate great awareness. But gradually it becomes easier. Shut your mouth. Only then will you respond. When the anger subsides, and this is right because only in a calm moment will the response be appropriate. How can an appropriate response be appropriate in a moment of anger? It's as if someone went to answer while intoxicated. Lust grips your mind and observe from a distance. Create distance. The greater the distance between you and your thoughts, the more your ownership will become evident. You become so close that you've forgotten there's space between them. Start today. Results won't come quickly because the closeness is of many lifetimes. It can't be broken in a day. Breaking long-standing ties will take time, but if you make a little effort, it will break because the connection is false. If it were real, it wouldn't break. It's just a thought. The mere thought of being one with it creates trouble. If you feel hungry, don't say, I'm hungry. Simply say, I see the body is hungry, and that's the truth. You are the observer. The body feels hunger. Consciousness can never feel hunger. Food goes into the body. The body needs blood and flesh. Only the body gets tired. Consciousness never gets tired. Consciousness is a lamp that burns without a wick or oil. Food and fuel are not necessary or desired there. The body needs fuel. Food is needed, water is needed. The body is a machine. The soul is not a machine. When hungry, feed the body. Just remember that the body is hungry. I am watching. When thirsty, give water. It is necessary to give. Machine must be given. It would be crazy to say, I am not the body, so I won't give you water. You are sitting in a car and won't fill it with petrol. What will you do then? Get out of the car. It won't move. Now you remain sitting. Try to drive it. Say, I will pay for the petrol. It is enough. Don't become one with the car. Be its master. Fulfill the car's needs. The body's needs must be fulfilled. It is a machine. It must be used, and its use is great because it is a ladder that takes you through sorrow, and it is also a ladder that takes you to joy. The body is just a ladder. And the beauty of a ladder is that one end is on the ground, the other end is in the sky. You can descend by it, you can ascend by it. It is through the body that you have come to hell. It is through the body that you will reach heaven. It is through the body that you will also attain salvation. It is a medium. It must be preserved. Its needs must be met. But there is no reason to become one with the medium. Let the instrument remain an instrument. You write with a fountain pen, but you are not the fountain pen. You walk with your feet, but you are not the feet. The body is in take care of it. It is a precious instrument. Do not spoil it. There are two types of people who spoil it. One spoils it with indulgence, and the other spoils it with renunciation. Both are enemies, and both are foolish. Some spoil it by going to a prostitute's house. Another spoils it by overeating. At the other extreme is the madman. He spoils it by fasting. Either you fill the car with so much petrol that there's no room to sit inside, or you don't fill it at all. You go to two extremes. Give only what's needed. You have to worry about the servant too. You have to take care of him. But worry doesn't make a servant master. Sattva is attained by mastery of the intellect, and as your intellect comes under control, as you become a witness, you will find that the inner sattva, your soul, your true existence, begins to be realized. When the intellect becomes corrupted and controlled, the soul intellect becomes the master, and the worldly intellect becomes the slave, and the divine intellect you can ascend from it, but only the master can ascend. The slave descends lower and lower and lower. And slavery to the intellect is very dangerous, because it's not the slavery of one. The intellect is a crowd. Now it says anger. A moment later it says repent. One thought says enjoy the world. Another thought says go seek salvation. One thought says accumulate wealth. Even if you have to steal, there's no harm. Another thought says this is sin. There are endless thoughts. And the sum of those endless thoughts is the intellect. If the intellect were just one thought, there could be peace in life. But it's not even one thought. It's a crowd. It's a market. The intellect state is like a school. Class is in session. The teacher is present, and the children are sitting and studying. All is quiet. The teacher leaves, and a fight breaks out for books are thrown. Sheets are broken. Tables are turned upside down. Something is being written on the blackboard. Abuse is being hurled. These children no longer have any master, no one to watch over them. The teacher returns to the room. There's complete silence. All the books are back in their place. The boys' eyes are lowered. They get busy with their work. As soon as your ownership comes in, the intellect immediately goes to work. As your mastery is lost, the mind becomes a turmoil, a chaos. And it's very difficult to accept this chaos because it can lead nowhere. There isn't just one voice here, there are infinite voices. Mahavira said that man is multi-minded. There isn't one mind, multi-mindedness. And modern psychology supports this statement of Mahavira. Modern psychology says that man is multi-minded, psychically multi-minded. There isn't just one mind within you, there are infinite minds. It's like having one servant and infinite masters, all giving orders, and the servant will go mad. Whom will he obey? Whom will he not obey? Similarly, you have gone mad. Find the one so that the teacher returns to class. Find the one so that the many slaves can settle down. Having one master will bring direction to your life. Sattva will be realized. You will know yourself, and through this, the realization of this truth, spontaneous freedom, will result. As long as you keep the intellect as your master, you will remain a slave. As soon as sattva is realized, spontaneous freedom will result. It's important to understand what inherent freedom is. Why not just say independent? Why natural? It's a little subtle. There are two kinds of freedom. One is freedom that goes against someone. When freedom goes against someone, it becomes licentiousness. That's not true freedom. Then you start acting contrary. For example, the intellect says get angry. If you start acting contrary, the intellect says get angry, I won't get angry, I'll forgive. The intellect says kill him. You say I won't kill him, I'll put my neck in front of him so he can kill me. We do the opposite of what the intellect says, as is the way sages usually do. The intellect says, let's go find a woman. The sage runs toward the forest. The intellect says, let's go find wealth. The sage doesn't touch wealth. If he touches wealth, it seems like a snake or a scorpion. The intellect says, rest, relax. The sage stands in the sun. He makes a bed of thorns. This isn't true freedom, because you're still listening to the one you're going against. He's still the master. Understand this a little. It's a little complicated, because your fight continues. If you become the master, the fight ends. The slave is a slave. Why fight with him? There's a slave in your house, and he's become. If he tells you to sit down, you sit down. If he tells you to stand up, you stand up. You've decided that now you'll go against this slave. He'll still be your master. Now if he tells you to sit down, you stand up. You admit you don't belong to him. But you're still obeying him because he's the one who's making. And if the slave gets a little smarter, when he needs you to sit down, he'll tell you to stand up, sit down. You can't escape. Mullah Nasruddin's son was causing a lot of trouble. Nasruddin told him repeatedly, sit down. Go out. So he came in. Finally. There were guests in the house, and the children would cause more trouble in front of the guests, because they were the ones who needed to prove who the real master was. You and I, sons of our Father, are therefore children who generally won't indulge in mischief. The moment a guest At home, trouble begins because it's a question of conflict, of ego, of who is master. Seeing the guest, the child becomes even more unruly. Finally, Melissa Dean said, "Do as you please. Now let me see how you disobey my commands. Do as you please. Now let me see how you disobey my commands." The child must have been in trouble. If you go against your mind, natural freedom won't result. A freedom will result that isn't freedom, it's rebellion. It's rebellious, but we remain bound to the one we rebel against. We remain connected to the one we fight. We are still not masters. The signal still comes from the same source. Now we do the opposite, but the signal comes from the same source. So you may practice celibacy, but it makes no difference. Your celibacy is simply rebellion. It's not natural. The lustful mind was speaking and you said, "We will fight." This is a fight. Who fights a slave? And whoever fights a slave still considers the slave their master. The fight is with the master. What question is there with a slave? Therefore your saints may be opposite to you, but they are not different from you. Your saints may be going against you, but as far as master of the mind is concerned, there is not an iota of difference. Innate freedom is something else entirely. Innate freedom means that I am the master. Therefore, whether I obey or disobey the mind is not the same question. To side with the mind or go against it is not the same question. Now I give orders to the mind. Now I do not obey. There are two ways of obeying. Whether I obey or go against it, both ways are ways of obeying. When the intellect becomes the master, its master can be of two kinds, negative and positive. You can be a householder if you want. You can be a monk if you want, but it will not make any difference. Therefore, your saints, practicing the opposite form of householder, are no different and suffer more than the gas, because standing on your feet is easier, standing on your head is certainly not more difficult. So nature makes you stand on your head. What you are doing is the opposite. You are collecting, they are discarding. You are protecting the body, leaving it unprotected. You are making a good bed for the body. They are picking up thorns and pebbles. But in complete contrast to you, you are savoring food. They are fasting on a hunger strike. You are sitting covered in fine clothes. They are naked. This is not natural freedom. This is a state of tension. There is no ease in it. That is why the Sutra says that mastering the intellect leads to the attainment of truth. The 7 stages lead to the attainment of truth, and this leads to natural freedom. Then you are free. Then you do not look at the mind to see what it is saying. What should I do and what should I not do? Then you do not look at the mind at all. Then your action becomes natural. Then you are truly free from the mind. Then you are the decision maker. The mind follows you. But this will happen only when you become master. Mastery will happen when you become a witness. Do not fight with the mind. Otherwise, natural freedom will never bear fruit. You fight and you accept your mind as your equal. You grant equal rights to anyone you fight. Once a friend, he becomes an enemy. But you stand equal. A master is not equal. A master is in the sky. A servant is on the earth. Once masters achieve freedom, that natural freedom is truly unique. I heard about a Muslim mystic named Bayazid who went on the Hajj pilgrimage. He had decided to fast for 40 days. 5 days into the fast, he arrived in the village. Around 100 disciples were with Bayazid. He was a highly respected scholar, renowned far and wide. When they arrived, people outside the village came and reported, "Baji, you have a devotee. He has crossed all limits. He is a poor man. A very poor man. He had nothing except a hut. He sold his hut. He sold his cows and buffaloes. He sold everything he had and invited the entire village to a meal to welcome him." Bayazid was fasting and had to fast for 40 days. The disciples were also fasting and had to fast for 40 days. Bayazid felt no stress. The disciples were filled with tension. But the disciples knew they were not supposed to eat. When the master arrived, he sat down at the plate. The disciples were very uneasy. When the guru sat down, they sat down too, but with great resentment. Yes. Did he lose his memory so quickly? Or has Bayazid been carried away by the food? They should have refused. We are fasting for 40 days until we complete the Hajj pilgrimage. We will eat there. And what is this? We fasted and broke it in 5 days. But we couldn't even say anything to Veer. We ate, but we did so with great resentment, with great difficulty. And looking at Bayazid, we were astonished. He was eating with great joy. There was no restlessness, no discomfort. At night, when everyone left, the disciples pounced on the guru. He said, "I remember, brother. I couldn't eat, but you did, so I had to follow you." Baji asked, "Why are you so upset?" She cooked it with so much love. It was like breaking a fast. And breaking her love is more harmful. Breaking the fast didn't cause any harm. I'll fast for 5 more days. We'll fast for 40 days or even 45 days to complete the 40 days. If her love had broken, we would never have been able to mend it. Her heart would have been hurt. There was no way to mend it. We have to fast. Forget these 5 days. We'll fast for another 40 days. Freedom of thought isn't easy. What's bothering them is that they listened to their mind. Their mind was already telling them to eat. They were fighting against it. They listened to their mind. Slavery has set in. Bayazid is the master. It's up to us whether to fast or break it. There's no rebellion in this. There's no opposition from the mind. There's no obeying the mind. We are the masters. If we want to fast, we'll fast. If we don't, we won't. The decision will be ours. Both were fasting, but there is a radical difference in their fasting. A fundamental difference. Bayazid's freedom is natural. He can stay in a palace without any worries. He can stay in a hut without any worries. But if Bayazid's disciples have to stay in a palace, they will be in trouble, thinking that this has become an indulgence. This is a very interesting thing. Sometimes the palace holds you, sometimes the hut holds you. But you can't hold on. The game can go either way. His freedom is natural. No one can stop him. The decision will be of his own soul. The soul is the deciding factor. Natural freedom bears fruit only when sattva is attained. Before that, all freedoms will be false. Because of his independent nature, he can go beyond himself, and he can also remain within himself while remaining outside. This is a very Because of his independent nature, he can go beyond himself. Kabir continued to weave cloth. He was a weaver and remained a weaver. Many times disciples said, it's no longer appropriate for you to weave cloth and then go to the market to sell it. You're not suffering. Kabir laughed, saying, it's all his play. The outside and the inside are one. We can't understand this because we're held on to the outside. We're held on so tightly that how can the outside and the inside be one? Jain mystics have said that the world and liberation are one. We would be terrified. How can this be? The world holds us. We are suffering from the world. Liberation is the opposite, where we will be free, peaceful, joyful, happy, where there will be no suffering. Our liberation is going to be the opposite of our world. But when a person is liberated, nothing in this world remains opposite. All opposites disappear. When a person is liberated, the distance between the outside and the inside disappears, because the entire gap is created by the wall of ego. The ego stands between the outside and the inside. The wall is made of it. Just as if we take an earthen pot and go into the river to fill it with water. So we would say this is water inside the pot. This is a river outside the pot. But what is the difference? Just a mud wall. If that mud wall breaks, what will happen outside? What will happen inside? What is outside is the same as inside. What is inside is the same as outside. That is why Kabir says, getting up and sitting is my worship. Now, Kabir doesn't go to the temple because there's no longer any difference between a shop and a temple. Now, Kabir, from the Himalayas. Now, there is no difference between the market and the Himalaya. Now, Kabir doesn't even run away from his home because there is no longer any difference between his own and others. Where will you go even if you run away? With the fall of ego, all distances fall away. When there is nothing outside, there is nothing inside. Then there is neither matter nor God. Then both are one. That non-duality, where everything becomes one and all boundaries dissolve. But that happens only when natural freedom blossoms in life. So due to such a person's independent nature, he can go beyond himself and remain within himself while remaining outside himself. He has no obstacles. Even if he lives in a palace, he is still a sannyasi. Even if he stands on the street as a sannyasi, he is still a palace. Even if he has a pile of crores of rupees, he is still non-possessive. Even if he has nothing, he is no greater possessor because the whole world belongs to him. But it is difficult for us to recognize him because we are familiar with only one part. What burns inside the pot appears different from what is outside the pot. What is hidden within you is also outside you. The sky within you is the same sky outside, and your body is no more than an earthen pot in which a slight separation appears. The world and renunciation are not two. They appear to be two, because you know only one, the world, and not renunciation. Therefore you conceive of renunciation based on the world. Your concept of renunciation also results from your world. So you call someone a sannyasi who is completely opposite to you? You say, look at what a great sannyasi. He walks without shoes. He lives naked, standing in the sun, enduring the rain, sleeping in the grass. How can they be sannyasis? Your concept of renunciation also stems from your world. For you, jhana cannot be a sannyasi. How can he be? He is in a palace. For you, Krishna cannot be a sannyasi. How can he be? Standing with a peacock crown, playing the flute. No, he cannot be a sannyasi for you. But when the slavery of your intellect ends, and the essence within you is liberated, you will realize that salvation is not a hindrance to the world. Salvation is not a hindrance to the kingdom, because liberation is your own state of experience. When you are liberated, the world disappears from all sides. Everything inside and outside is one. Worship and business are equal. Then a person accepts life as it is. There is no need to discriminate even slightly. That is why it has happened that even butchers have attained Brahmagyan. It has happened that even the most oppressed have attained Brahmagyan. And it also happens that even a monk who has abandoned everything and fled remains wandering and cannot attain Brahmagyan. This sutra is extremely profound. Because of his free nature, he can go outside himself and remain within himself while remaining outside. Now he is free. Now he has no definition. If you try to define him, you will not be able to recognize him. Now he is indefinable. Now he has no characteristics. Now it's very difficult to say where you will find him. Now he can be anywhere. It so happened that before the rainy season, a Buddhist monk went to a village and the monk was indeed handsome. And then a monk possessed a unique beauty that cannot be possessed by an ordinary person. An aura begins to appear within one who has renounced everything. One who has set aside the useless, the flowers of the meaningful bloom within him. A glory manifests in his life that is not reflected in ordinary life. It is natural for the prostitute to become captivated by that dancing, joyful monk. The prostitute, very beautiful. Emperors knocked at her door. Not everyone had the chance to meet her. A moment with her was precious. She ran to the monk on the road and asked him to accept her invitation for the rainy season and stay at my house this rainy season. The monk said, "I will ask my guru as he commands." The monk neither said yes nor no. The monk said, "I will ask my guru." The next morning he asked the Buddha, "I have received an invitation from a prostitute. What should I do?" The Buddha said, "If the prostitute wasn't afraid of you, why would you be afraid of her? My monk is so weak that he would be afraid." Prostitute, you go and accept the rainy season invitation. The other monks became very uneasy. Many had seen the prostitute passing by. She was beautiful. Lust had even arisen in the hearts of many. Many would have wished they had been invited. One monk stood up and said, "This is not right. Staying at the home of a monk and a prostitute is not right. You fear corruption." Buddha said, "If you had received the invitation, you wouldn't have received my permission. You fear corruption because you still distinguish between inside and outside. But I am sending you knowingly, it makes no difference whether the person stays outside or inside. Still, the monks were unconvinced. They said, you are making a mistake. This will start a cycle of wrong rules. It will break the decorum. The sun said, wait, let the rainy season pass, then we will see. Every day the monks brought reports that he had become corrupt because someone brought news that they had seen him watching a dance going on that night, and he was also sitting there. Some said he was sitting on a velvet cushion. Some said he had changed his clothes. Some brought one news, some another. Some said they saw them embracing each other. Buddha said, let the rainy season pass. What's the hurry? Why are you spreading rumors? What's your purpose? You're not corrupting yourself. The corrupted will return after the rainy season. After the rainy season, the monk returned. The prostitute followed him, and the prostitute asked the Buddha to make her a nun. The monk won, and I lost. I tried every trick, and he didn't resist. Even when I embraced him, he wouldn't move away. When I seated him on a velvet cushion, he wouldn't say, I'm a monk. How can I sit on a velvet cushion? I offered him delicious food, but he wouldn't say, I can't eat it because it might arouse lust. I extended all the invitations, but he said no, no. Whatever happened, he sat quietly, as if nothing was happening. I was moved by it. The joy he experienced, the one in which the outside vanished within. The joy he experienced, the one that no one could disturb, was the same as my desire for bliss. Buddha told the monks, look, if someone who has lost his inner self and the outside were to stay with a prostitute, the prostitute herself would become a nun. If you had gone to a prostitute, you would have become a shadow of her. There is the auspicious one who fears the inauspicious. He is worthless. The saint fears the wicked. The saint is not afraid of the wicked. The saint has transcended both. A saint is one whose state cannot be changed by anything. He remains within, even while being outside. Even if he lives in the world does not enter him. Buddha said that the ultimate state of renunciation is when you cross a river without the water touching your feet. You should be afraid to cross the river. This is not the ultimate state. It is a state of fear. Remember 3 principles. The mastery of the mind must be broken. This will be broken through witnessing. A gap will be created. You must establish your own mastery, but not by going against it, by rising above it. Freedom will come. If it comes from going against it, it will be false. Freedom will bring tension and trouble. It will not be peaceful. It will not be easy. Not by rising above it, by becoming a witness, by fighting. There is no place for a warrior in religion. In religion, you only have to rise above. Don't fight, because with whomever you fight, you will stop. You should not make the mind your enemy at that level. You have to go beyond the mind. You have to transcend it. And the key to going beyond the mind is the feeling of witness. As you go above, spontaneous freedom will happen. Liberation will happen. And that freedom has no opposition from anyone. In such liberation, you will reach a state where you can remain outside yourself and also remain inside yourself. It does not matter. because the distance between the outside and the inside has disappeared. The world and salvation are one. All duality has ended. All conflict has disappeared. This is the state of non-duality, and non-duality today